tell you a little story that was so cute. I don't know if it was cute. It was foolish. When I think of DC power or, low voltage, I don't think it's strong, and I think it's going to be fine. And we're probably 19. We're up at my buddy's farm. We had a few drinks. We're by the fire. It was 100 acres, and they had cows on the property. So they got the cow fence. It's a little electric fence.
Yep.
So we're all standing there. We're talking about the electric fence. Who's going to touch it? Let's see if it has anything. So I'm not afraid of electrical work, and don't mess with electrical. But I'm not afraid because I understand electrical, or so I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I walked up and grabbed the fence. I'm like, first I touched it. Oh, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. Then I grabbed it. What I didn't know was it comes in increments of power. It's not constant supply. So me holding it, laughing, then I got the shot. And when I felt that, I went, holy cow. You ever put a 9-volt battery on your tongue?
No.
A lot of people don't like that.
Right.
I did that to my wife, and she yelled at me. She actually swore at me. I said, it's only 9 volts. But it can be powerful, and I guess it can. Batteries can cause a fire.
Yeah.
I learned not to do that again because it was actually quite shocking.
Yeah.
I was very surprised by that. And these are things that I think you learn as you go. It's one day, I'll tell you another story. My brother was living in one room. We shared a house is what we did. I was in a room in front of the house. And I've always said to everyone, don't take an extension cord and plug a heater into it. A heater should be plugged directly into the wall. And they plugged it into an extension cord, put it on the floor. They had it on full power. It was about 2:30 in the morning, and I woke up to the smell of smoke. And it was in my room. It was so smoky, I could not believe it. I got up, I shot out the door into the hallway. The whole house was full of smoke. I went right to the bedrooms to make sure, everyone was awake, because no one was awake. And the first door I opened was my brother's door. The flame was at the bottom of his bed because they had dropped their clothes, threw it on the heater, not even thinking, or on the extension cord, where it was joined from the heater to the extension cord. The clothes were thrown on top, and that's what started on fire. I yelled. Everyone got out of the house. I quickly unplugged it, put out the fire. Of course, the alarms are going off, and the fire department came. That was something that was so simple that the misuse of any electrical item, and let's talk about extension cords. The foolishness that people are doing. I mean, for years we've seen a lot of tragedies at Christmas, and Christmas is coming, by the way. Ladders, people putting up their lights on. One of the number one accidents is people falling off the ladders, putting up lights. But the other issue is not buying proper lights and putting too many lights on one circuit, and or using indoor extension cords outdoor. Like, these are things I don't understand, but it comes down to, I guess, ignorance, just not knowing. So with Christmas coming on this direction, and very soon we have some Christmas directions up there. We're going to be doing some shoots later for Christmas. Don't use candles in the house. I don't like candles in the house. I mean, they can cause fires, a dry tree, that is just foolish. And did you know that candles themselves, the off-gassing that comes off a candle, is not safe for the environment? Did you two know that?
I actually didn't know that.
It's funny, when it comes to a hot tub, a lot of people will think they can just get anyone to install it. Why do I keep talking about electrical and water? They don't mix. If you put in a hot tub, you want to make sure it's wired right. Like, I don't want to risk sitting in a bathtub with a radio that's plugged into the wall, hoping I don't, it doesn't fall into the... How many people did that years ago? Put a radio by the tub that they're in.
Yeah.
That was years ago. That doesn't happen anymore. Everything outside should be on a GFCI. And here's a simple really way of saying this. If you bought an older house and you didn't bring an electrician to upgrade it or give you advice on the electrical, and it has an outdoor plug that is not GFI protected, and you have an electrical lawnmower, and you go outside when the ground is wet, and you plug that into that receptacle because you're going to cut the grass with an electrical lawnmower, your feet get wet, what can happen?
There could potentially be a shock hazard there, but...
Very, because we don't have the ground fault protection.
Correct.
Because that trips it right away, where instead that you may get it. And many people have been shocked this way. And it's just simple. Don't plug anything on outside that's not GFI protected. Is that a great way of saying it?
Absolutely.
For sure. And your holiday decorations too.
Yeah.
Make sure that they're plugged into GFCI outlets as well.
I think the smartest thing to do is, I've said this a million times, if you buy a house and you didn't get a chance to bring in a home inspector to take a look at the house and give you advice on that, is to just call a licensed electrical contractor to come in and give you advice on what you bought into. Okay, there's no GFIs on the outside of your home. Is there aluminum wiring? Now, I know aluminum wiring is fine. The problem is insurance, and everyone's changing it from aluminum to copper, and the two wires don't mix. This is why it's so important that if you do have aluminum wire, that you change it over, because most people are not going to realize it's not a good thing. That means you need an AL receptacle, an AL switch, which stands for aluminum. Most people will change that old receptacle, and they'll do it themselves. DIY, homeowners will do this. And they're putting in copper into an aluminum. That's a big no-no. So just bring a licensed electrical contractor in, do an inspection, and give me some advice on the house and the upgrades that I need to do. And if you do them, get a permit.
Absolutely.
And if you've got fuses in your panel still, it might be time to change your panel. Like a long time ago, fuses are still good. But again, it's the dummy rule. It's a 15 amp fuse keeps blowing, so I put in a 20 or I put in a 25. Which means you're not allowing that line to break of overconsumption, and that line can heat up and cause a fire in your home. Something so simple. We all thought years ago, put in a 20 amp breaker on a 15 amp line. So with the holidays coming up, and I'm talking Christmas, and I love Christmas, everyone wants to light up their house. As a matter of fact, 2 years ago, we did a big competition on who could light up their house better than anyone else. And we ran generators just to do this, but it wasn't permanent. So it was a lot of fun seeing what we could do. What is advice that we can give people out there when it comes to extension cords, lights, just plain safe advice for homeowners wanting to really light up their houses?
Make sure it's certified. Make sure it's rated for outdoor use if you're going to put it outdoors. Those are the two big ones.
That's great advice. Now, I understand LED. So LED lights, you can put a lot on one circuit. And a lot of people are probably thinking the same thing I am, is that you can put a lot of lights on one circuit. Legally, you can't, but you can for consumption. So where do you draw the line when it comes to how many lights you plug in one source or an extension cord? Is there any advice on this one?
Sure. So for LED string lights that you would find for, the front of your house or on your Christmas tree, typically they're very, very small consumption, but the manufacturer is going to have a limit on how many you can connect in one string.
They'll say not more than 4.
Exactly. And those directions are important because those directions are part of the product certification. So when it's certified with a particular size of wire that's capable of a particular load. And that number of strings is intended to make sure that it stays within those limits. So we want to follow those.
I love what you just said, which a lot of people, my son I'm always pointing at, don't do. Okay, so you look for the certification mark. Awesome. Congratulations, you're good. You can use it. It's exterior. You've got the certification mark. Did you read the instructions?
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of important to read the instructions? I read the instructions on everything. Absolutely everything. I don't know why I do it, but I'm just afraid for that. But I do. And I think it's the smartest thing that everyone can do is read the instructions. A great example is how many lights can you put on one? What they're trying to tell you is don't plug in more than 4 string lights on one circuit or on one extension cord, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And
something I've seen a lot lately is the deer outside, and they're all lit up, right? And I look at them, a snowman, an inflatable snowman for that matter, that have lights inside them.
Yep.
You should, because it's plugged, you need to look for
Yep, absolutely.
a certification mark.
Would need to be plugged in to an extension cord that's not overloaded and plugged into a ground fault circuit interrupted outlet.
Really simple. Do we all know as homeowners that this is very important? We got to think, when it comes to our kids, I think a parent will do absolutely anything. So for your kids, when it comes to electrical, you should make sure that you're doing it right. and safely. People out there to help you. Do it right. Make it right. Stay safe. If you like the show, check out the episode page on makeitright.ca for more tips. Listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Amazon Music. Subscribe so you don't miss an episode.